In a luxurious restaurant, a millionaire sits laughing, waving a stack of cash, and issues a challenge. "Serve me in English and I'll pay you $1,000. The young waitress stands nervously, but there's something in her calm eyes that hints she's no ordinary server. The room falls silent, all eyes on her, as the arrogant millionaire expects to see a failure. But what happens next will leave everyone stunned because she's about to prove that intelligence, courage, and skill cannot be measured by wealth or appearances. The restaurant was buzzing with chatter, the clinking of silverware echoing against marble walls. At a corner table, the millionaire laughed arrogantly, tossing a crisp $1,000 bill on the table. "Serve me in English properly, and the money is yours," he jeered, glancing at the young waitress in her modest uniform. Other diners smirked, assuming this would be another humiliating scene. But she didn't flinch. She took a deep breath, lifted her head high, and walked toward him, her steps steady. No one knew that her calm was just the beginning of a shock that would turn ridicule into awe. He spoke fast, using complex phrases and tricky idioms, trying to catch her off guard. "Describe my steak perfectly, in detail," he demanded, a smirk dancing across his lips. She listened carefully, her eyes never leaving his, and repeated every word back flawlessly, even correcting subtle grammatical errors. Gasps rippled through the room. Diners were no longer laughing. The millionaire's face flickered with disbelief. The challenge was supposed to embarrass her, but instead, it revealed intelligence he had never expected to encounter. Then she surprised him even further. With a graceful smile, she explained the same dish in French, shifting seamlessly into Spanish, her voice confident and musical. The millionaire's smirk faltered, replaced by wide-eyed astonishment. He motioned for her to stop, but she continued, adding Arabic and finally Mandarin, each phrase pronounced with perfect clarity. Diners whispered among themselves, unable to believe what they were witnessing. In that moment, the power in the room had shifted completely. Curiosity overtook the millionaire as he asked, "How? How do you know all these languages?" She paused, calm and dignified, and shared pieces of her past, moving from country to country, facing hardships, learning languages to survive and connect with people, not for money or praise. Her words carried quiet strength, and the room was captivated by her story. The millionaire began to realize that what he had assumed to be ordinary was extraordinary in every way. The restaurant, once filled with laughter and whispers of mockery, was now completely silent. Diners held their breath as the millionaire stared at her, unable to form the words that would match the brilliance before him. He had underestimated her, and the realization hit harder than any insult she could have received. In that stillness, respect quietly replaced arrogance, and the young waitress stood as a beacon of dignity and intelligence. He reached for the $1,000, thinking this would end the humiliation in his favor, but she shook her head gently. "Respect cannot be bought," she said, her voice steady, carrying an authority that silenced even him. The millionaire's hand froze midair, and the diners leaned in, astonished by her composure. The lesson was clear. Intelligence, talent, and self-respect are far more valuable than money. And her quiet confidence spoke volumes to everyone present. Unknown to them, a diner had been recording the entire scene. Within hours, the video went viral. Online, millions watched as the young waitress calmly spoke 5 languages, transforming an act of mockery into a global story of courage and brilliance. Comments flooded in, praising her confidence and skill. The millionaire became a symbol of arrogance humbled, while she became an inspiration, showing that humility and talent leave a far greater impact than wealth or status ever could. Days later, the millionaire returned to the same restaurant, but this time his steps were cautious, his demeanor humble. He approached her quietly and said, "I want to offer you a position, a chance to use your talents." There was no arrogance in his tone, only admiration. She listened, eyes steady, but the power of choice rested entirely with her. The room remembered her grace, and now even he had learned that true respect cannot be demanded. It must be earned. She thanked him but declined the offer, explaining that her path was her own. She valued her independence and self-respect above wealth or recognition. The millionaire nodded, finally understanding that admiration is earned through talent and integrity, not forced with money. The diners watched silently, inspired by her courage and conviction. In choosing herself, she had not only transformed her own destiny, but left a lesson that would linger in the hearts of everyone present. As she walked away, carrying herself with quiet pride, the restaurant seemed to shine a little brighter. Her story reminded everyone watching that intelligence, resilience, and dignity cannot be underestimated, and that appearances can be deceiving. The millionaire, humbled by the encounter, left with a lesson money could never buy. And viewers everywhere were left inspired, knowing that courage and skill, paired with humility, will always leave a mark that wealth cannot erase. And just like that, the young waitress turned mockery into respect, showing that courage, talent, and intelligence can never be underestimated. The millionaire learned a lesson money could never buy, and the world watched in awe. If her story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Miracles of Kindness for more incredible tales that celebrate heart, strength, and humanity.